Steve, firstly, how is everyone after training for a few days? No doubts over your team, everyone fit?
All good. Obviously we lost Ryan Jack, but we'd sort of preempted that anyway. So that squad's good shape. The little time we've had on the training pitch has been really good work, high quality. So hopefully we can take that to the pitch.
In terms of the new players coming in, how much food for thought has that given you, or do you feel you're already settled on who you're going to select tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I've given myself more problems. Good problems. Selection problems, good. A lot of good players that won't make the starting 11, but we've got 3 games in a short space of time, so it's important to have a really good squad, and I think I've got that now.
Do you feel for the Austria game, you've settled on who you're going to pick now, or is there still 1 or 2 decisions to be made?
No, in my head I've got the team. I know the team.
You say you were expecting Ryan Jack to withdraw. Was there a temptation to bring anybody else in?
There's always a temptation, but I think with the fact that we did preempt it, we had the players in the squad to cover the absence of Ryan, which is a blow for us because he's done well for us, and he plays a certain position in midfield that maybe without him we don't really have. So we'll miss him, but we've got like I just said, a really good squad now. So it's time for somebody else to step forward.
How is the excitement building the squad? Obviously, World Cup qualifying campaign, the Euros only a few months away as well.
No, focused. The squad that's here now is focused completely on the World Cup games because they're the most important ones. We've said it almost since we qualified for the Euros that we don't want to be one tournament wonders. We want to have a continued period of success. So that starts tomorrow night against Austria at Hampden.
You sense though in the squad that they're all determined to continually impress because they know although you're focusing on the next game, they all want to be part of the Euros.
Yeah, but they have to focus on these games because these games are the most important.
Shea Adams and Kevin Nisbet fitted into the squad and the training.
Yeah, good. Both of them really good, impressive in training. Like I say, only short bits of training because we don't have the time with them. But no, they've both been good. Jack Henry, Grant Hanley slotted back in as if they'd never been away from an international squad. So, like I said before, really good shape. Looking forward to the game.
What do you make of your opponents, Steve? Austria, what can we expect from them?
Good team. I think the strength is probably in the team rather than individuals. Like any Austrian team, good physically, strong, but good technique as well. Dangerous in certain areas of the pitch. We'll set up to try and nullify that, but we want to be on the front foot as well. We want to make sure that we cause them a lot of problems, which I think we can. I think sometimes we play ourselves down a little bit in this country. Like I said before, I think I've got a good squad of players and we want to improve and get better and better, and to do that we have to beat teams of the standing of Austria. So that's the target for us.
For a game like this, especially after such a high 4 months ago, you've had a long layoff. How difficult is it to find a balance between being loyal to players that were so successful 4 months ago, but the players that are now in form as well?
No, that's my job. I have to get the balance right. I think you see with the squad that I picked for this game, there is a loyalty to the boys that did well for us, but there's also the chance for other people to come into the squad and impress. And if you do that, everybody should be on their toes going forward.
Are we likely to see debuts for Adams and Nisbet, Mara?
Yeah, it's possible.
In terms of this qualification campaign, Steve, with the World Cup, it'd be a bit more unforgiving in terms of first place goes through and then maybe second place can get to a playoff. Is that something you've thought of and looked at and maybe put some more expectation on results because of that?
No, really, we have to finish first to go there automatically, and we have to finish second to be in the playoffs. So the rules haven't changed. We don't have the backup this time, so we have to go through the front door.
You're not going to give us a target for these 3 games, are you, in terms of points? What's your thoughts?
You don't know. How do you know what's a good target? We'll tally up at the end of the group stage and see where we are.
In terms of momentum, we've seen how crucial that was during the Euros when we went on that unbeaten run. How crucial will that be with these 3 games? But it's a heavy fixture calendar year for you guys as well. How much is that momentum going forward?
I think you want to have momentum. It's important. We lost the last 2 games of the Nations League campaign, so we want to put that right. We want to start winning games again. We want to build as long a winning run as possible. That's what you always try to do. Every time your winning run stops or your unbeaten run stops, you have to start another one. So tomorrow night would be a great time to start one.
It's also important to change that mentality of Scotland. You mentioned it before about the one tournament wonders. How much of it is about a mentality change that we should be going into these expecting qualification now rather than, being that hope?
I think you always have to be respectful of your opposition. We're in a group that 2 teams are seeded above us. We're pot 3. We're not seeded to qualify from the group. But I think rather than focusing on everybody else, we have to focus on ourselves. I've seen an improvement in the squad. I've seen an improvement in the team. I've seen an improvement on the pitch, which is really important for us. Even in the 2 games that we lost, we played well in both games and could have, with a little bit of luck, got something from it. So we just have to keep improving. That's what we're aiming to do.
Steve, just going back to the game itself, obviously Ryan isn't available, so there's a place in midfield. Without giving away your team selection, have you considered playing Scott McTominay in there, or are we more likely to see John Fleck or Kenny McLean replace him?
Maybe.
Have you tried Scott in training in midfield? I know that you did a lot of work with him at centre back.
I'm not going to discuss team selection.
Steve, I'm just wondering the team spirit that was clearly on show after Scotland qualified for the Euros, is that evident in training?
It's evident as soon as the boys come into camp on the Sunday night. They greet each other like long lost friends, and the banter's good, it's sharp. It's a good group, and obviously the little bit of success that we had has made it a better place to come. Everybody wants to be here, everybody wants to be involved, everybody wants to be successful for their country, and I think that's a great place to be.
And how important is that going forward to succeed?
Well, if you look at any dressing room, a happy dressing room is normally a successful dressing room, so no different on the international stage.
So you've got 3 games in 6 days. How important is it to get off to a winning start tomorrow evening?
No, I don't think you can put yourself under any pressure. It's important that out of the 3 games that we get a reasonable points total. Like I answered the question earlier, who knows what's going to be reasonable in the shape of the group? I think it's a group, I've said before. I think all the teams in the group are capable, or the top seeds in the group are all capable of taking points off each other. And that should make for a more interesting section than maybe the last Euro section was, when Belgium ran away with the section. I don't think that will happen this time.
I know you don't want to get pinned down on team selection, but
just ask you about
the goalkeeping situation. David Marshall, through injury, hasn't been playing, but would you be confident to bring him back for tomorrow?
Confident in all my goalkeepers. That's why I selected them. Like I said before, I think the dynamic in the goalkeeping group is really good. They all have good. The 3 goalkeepers have good experience. They work well together in training, which is important. They know that I trust them, which is also very important. And whichever one I select for the game, well, I'm sure will do well for the team.
I'm just wondering if there must have been a degree of uncertainty in your mind, not knowing exactly what the makeup of the Austria squad would be. Now we know it's going to be stronger than perhaps we'd anticipated.
Didn't know you were a mind reader. To be honest, when it came out, it was a little bit earlier. With the situation with the virus, the COVID virus is very fluid, changes from week to week, day to day. So there was always a chance that the restrictions that were keeping them in Germany would be lifted. So we prepared everything for the strongest team coming across. So.
In terms of you, Steve, in terms of how you're feeling about this campaign, how excited are you? I mean, as a club manager, when the new season starts, is this the same sort of feeling as when a new season starts as a club, a new campaign for international?
Yeah, it's a new campaign, so we're all looking forward to it. Everybody starts with 0 points, and then we have a race to see who can get the most. So yeah, it's something to look forward to.
Steve, you mentioned last week when the squad was announced that obviously goal scoring has been a bit of an issue in the last 6 or 7 games. Is that something you've been focusing on this week at all, just to get that extra goal threat that you're looking for?
I think you always want to have a goal threat, but I think we've shown also that if you keep the games tight at international level, one goal can sometimes be enough to win a game. We've actually shown that we're quite good at penalties as well, which we didn't know before, but we're good at that. So if you keep the game tight and you always give yourself a chance to score, sometimes one's enough. I mean, the 2 games we lost, one was enough to lose the game. So I think at international level, defensively, you have to be solid. And I think we have the capability to score goals.